All right, Ameer, you re-signed with the Minnesota Vikings. We're super pumped to have you back. How's it feel?
Man, it's amazing. It's exactly what I wanted. Heading into this process, I was hoping Minnesota was going to bring me back, and it was exactly what I wanted. Rick, his son goes to Nebraska, so we always had that connection with my old alma mater. Coach KP, he was excited to hear that I decided to come back. So everything is falling right in place. I'm glad to be back with a great team, a great organization.
You spent the first part of your career with the team that drafted you, the Detroit Lions.
Mm-hmm.
Then you join a new team, sort of mid-stride as the seasons go.
Yeah.
What was that like? What was your first year like with the Minnesota Vikings?
It was such a transition. Being in the NFL, sometimes you think it's a cookie cutter league. You think you can plug and replace, go to a new team, and you just hit the ground running. But every team I learned, they lead themselves differently, and I really respect how the Minnesota Vikings lead their organization. It really made me feel like I was at home. The brotherhood was automatically clicked right away. And you can tell winning is the only goal, and they're going to do what's right for the players to ensure that we get more wins.
What did you think about we talk about the room you're in, and what that means is you're meeting as a position group. So your fellow running backs, you mentioned KP earlier, and then also for you, the special teams room, you're going to have a new special teams coach. What did you think about sort of the camaraderie that you were able to build up with the guys that you line up with all the time?
It was like nothing I'd ever experienced before. Being in Detroit, I was always the older guy, which I'm still a young guy in this league, which was weird. Having a guy like Latavius who's been around the block, teaching me everything I need to know, obviously about Minnesota, but obviously about the game as well. And, staying mentally tough was really important for me. Seeing a guy who's had ups and downs in his career and me, having the ebb and flow of my career as well. Having a guy like Latavius being kind of a mentor for the last half of my season really helped me heading into the offseason, staying, devout in who I am and devout in this process that I'm on. And obviously having a talent like Dalvin every single day, working with a guy who's extremely fast, extremely dedicated, a guy who's going to give you his all every day was really inspiring for me. So all of those different viewpoints cultivated to give me a different viewpoint on the position of running back, and it was really fun.
Outside of being a running back, carrying the ball, pass protecting, catching the ball, the prospect of helping on special teams, does that appeal to you, or is that
Definitely.
sort of like part of the job, I got to do it, or is that something that you want?
No, man. I don't take a single moment when I'm on that field for granted, because there's so many people who can do a number of things, and if you can help this team, get that much closer to the Super Bowl, which is the goal. Every year I'm sure they set forth the goal to be in that big dance. If it's special teams returning, punt return, kick return, I'm definitely there for it. And who doesn't want the ball in their hands?
Yeah.
So being in those roles where I can be that one guy where everyone's watching, like, what is Abdullah going to do? I'm looking forward to, really seizing those opportunities this season coming up.
You have, I'm sure you've seen the Vikings re-sign Anthony Barr. So that was some positive news for our team because Anthony's a good player.
Very positive. Yeah, definitely. Me and Anthony, we actually trained together in the offseason. Here in LA, so he's become a really good friend of mine. I was hoping that he would resign because I thought I was going to resign with the Vikings. So to get a guy who can, obviously rush the passer, drop back, cover running backs in open space, and also just be such an energy, plug for this team, I think that was an outstanding move for the Vikings to do. This defense has been the anchor of this team for so long, and keeping that core together, that nucleus together, is important. And they've taken the right steps. Obviously, securing Eric Kendricks and now securing Anthony Barr, I think, was pivotal for this team.
It won't be long, and you guys will be back here in the building at TCO Performance Center. Are you ready for that?
I'm excited. I'm excited. I feel like last year we left a lot on the table. All the chips didn't fall our way. And the good thing about it, though, all that stuff was in our control. Looking back on the season, there's things that we could have done better. And understanding where we fell short is going to be our greatest strength this offseason, I believe.
All right, man. It's good seeing you. Congrats on the new contract. We're glad you're still a Minnesota Viking, and we'll see you when you get back in the building, all right?
I appreciate it. Thanks.